Hello, this video is brought to you by my supporters on Patreon and my members over on YouTube. Minasan, arigatou gozaimasu. I really appreciate your support. My name is Kurt, and this is my daily Good Life meditation. It's an exercise that I do every morning a little bit after waking up. It's now 4:53 a.m. on February 7th, 2024. I do this to remember my life objectives and principles, those which are outlined in my book, Going Alone, which you can get a copy of from the link down in the description if you want. I also use this time to think about the last 24 hours and how I did with the challenges and opportunities I met. I plan for the coming day and I prepare myself for death. But I always like to kick things off with a poem. Today we're going to reread yesterday's poem. I think it was called A Gentleman by Edward Thomas. Here we go. A gentleman. He has robbed 2 clubs. The judge at Salisbury can't give him more than he undoubtedly deserves. The scoundrel. Look at his photograph. A lady killer. Hanging's too good by half for such as he. So said the stranger, one with crimes yet undiscovered or undone. But at the inn the gypsy dame began. Now, he was what I call a gentleman. He went along with Carrie, and when she had a baby, he paid up so readily his half-a-crown, just like him. A crown'd have been more like him, but I never knew him mean. Oh, but he was such a nice gentleman. Oh, last time we met, he said if me and Joe was anywhere near, we must be sure and call. He put his arm around our Amos, all as if he were his own son. I pray God, save him from justice. Nice a man never trod. I like that poem. I had a hard time with it yesterday. I couldn't quite figure out the characters clearly. Now it's simply an irate man and the gypsy woman talking about the gentleman who had been caught with crimes. Interesting. I like it. I like it. Edward Thomas is my favorite. Okay. I'm sorry. Let's get on with it. So, do I seem giddy? I am. So yesterday, Yumiko and I got on. We had a phone call. Let's get on with it. Let's talk about yesterday and last night. We had a phone call with Social Security, and something we hadn't done yet. We had been leveraging all of our retirement plans on my situation, my pension, my Social Security, and our savings, my savings. I'm the one that earned it all. But anything that's mine is ours. Everything was based on that. We didn't even look into Yumiko's. It's funny how we didn't do that. We didn't look into her Social Security. Well, I know why we didn't do it. We tried, but there was a technical problem with the Social Security, the MySSA website, and we couldn't get into her account. And we just kept kicking the can down the road. Kick, 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 kick. Until finally we're like, what is it? March, April, May, June, March, April, May. March, April, May. Jeez. 3 months and change. A little less than 4 months, 3.5 months away from Emily and Yumiko leaving. We realized we can't kick that can down the road anymore. So I called Social Security yesterday, and then on Yumiko's behalf, and they put her on the. I put her on the line, and they asked her all those security questions, and then asked her their permission to work with me. So I asked all the pointed questions that I wanted to ask, which was 2 simple questions. Well, there were 3 questions, but I know how I'll handle the third one. The third one is that I want to get her account set up. I want to make sure that our accounts are set up, my Social Security, so that when we're in Japan, we can log into the portal and execute our retirement benefit start from overseas. The 2 questions I wanted to ask was, 1, does she have the necessary 40 credits to retire, to begin to be eligible for Social Security benefits beginning at age 62? The second question was, if so, how much? And I wanted to know the amount of disbursement at age 62, 67, and 70, so that we could then model those on the spreadsheet and plan what we wanted to do. Yumiko was incredibly anxious about this. I wish I hadn't brought this up over the weekend because she was anxious about it over the weekend. Although I kept telling her, don't worry about it. We're going to be fine. Even if you don't have enough credits, we'll still be fine. She was anxious. But the point that she made, and it was a good point, she said, but I want to contribute my share too. I worked hard all these years, and I want to get the money that is deserved me. If the thing would be, you need 40 credits, and you get like 4 credits. You get like I've worked out the formula before. It's like four credits a year. It takes I don't know. It takes like 10 years. It takes about 10 years to get all 40 credits of consecutive work, which is very generous. I mean, I think that's an amazing that's all it takes. But of course, then it's all leveraged on how much you put into. Of course, it's a formula, and they're counting on you to die. And her point was, like, what if she came out and she had 39 and a half credits? Damn it. She's not going to hang on another 6 months. No way. This job's killing her. So she would just check it, cut out, and that would be the end of that. Just like the credits that she's gained in Japan. She's never going to be able to use that. But it's so far under. I mean, I think in Japan you have to work 40 years. It's not credits, it's years. Jeez Louise. I mean, you have to start work at 20 and work every year of your life until 60 to be eligible for the pension scheme there. Tough. She was nervous. On Sunday, she was particularly anxious because I brought it up. I didn't mean to cause her anxiety. I meant to bring it up. I was like, Yumiko, we need to figure this out because we know. I said, well, that's not what I said. That's not what I said because I didn't couch it that way. What I said was, we need to get in the website and we need to fix your website so we don't have to come back to America. Because I had called the Social Security Administration on her behalf again 2 weeks before to try to overcome the technical problems. And they did the whole rigmarole, ask her all the questions and then put her in with me. And I was and they gave me points and I talked to them on technical support and I couldn't get it to work. And it was like afterwards, I go, I could have had a V8. I should have asked them, how many credits does she have? And if so, how much is she going to get? I didn't think to do it. I mean, I was like, I'll fix It's like trying to go around the door to open the door. It's like, okay, I'm going around I was talking to the guy. I could have asked him. So I thought, I'll call back. I told her over the weekend, I said, I should call back and just find out, just ask. And that's what triggered it. She's like, but what if I don't have enough credits? I said, then who cares? Because it's gravy, right? Because all of our planning is based on mine. And she said, yeah, but I want to get what I earned, right? And I want to contribute. And I think that's great, yeah. But we'll see. I know my wife, and I know that she would. That would put her in an awkward position if she was close, and leaving it close, and no pressure from me. Get the friggin' hell out of here. We're done. Long story short, got on the horn. She has 55 credits. So yeah, well over the 40. Because she was doing the math. She was trying to figure out all the jobs she's had in America. We couldn't quite figure, because it's not a matter of like a year. It's like you get a certain number of credits per 3 months. You earn it like on a 3-month basis. And some of the jobs she had were 1099 jobs. Some of them were, you get what I mean, right? So it's not 1099s don't contribute to the Social Security directly. So she's good. And then we asked him how much. And the guy was like, it took him a long time. And he came up with the estimate. And it was a lot more than we thought. So adding Yumiko's contribution to the mix now, it's a funny thing. It's like, we're going to be fine, very fine, better than fine. But the funny thing is, I heard this interesting thing. It said that, imagine a time, I just heard this last week, imagine a time when medicine reaches the point that we can keep you healthy, keep you basically alive. Immortality, the potential for immortality has been reached. You live forever if you want. Imagine if we get to that point. The only thing that can get you then is a catastrophic accident, a big car crash, fall off a cliff, great white shark. And the person that I was listening to said, and I think it was Sam Harris. was saying, imagine the new type and level of anxiety that will be introduced into society, into people, regarding accidents. If you have so much to lose. Like me, I'm 60 years old almost. If I get in a car crash and die, well, I've lost the greater course of my life has already been lived. My life objectives are complete. It's gravy at this point. But if immortality was in the mix, that's a whole different thing. That's what I'm feeling now with regard to finding out our situation, because we're going to be in a situation where literally we can travel the world. We can live in Airbnbs and go live in Europe and stay places and travel and eat well, and I mean, we're going to have a good life. And I hope I don't sound like bragging. That's not my intent. My intent is to be open and frank. And if anything, I wish a cautionary tale to make sure that if you're young, if you're in your working years, make sure you're contributing to your country's retirement scheme, and make sure you're maxing it out everywhere you can. Everything. Probably the big boom that happened in all of this was the fact that of all the stupid stuff I've done with money all my life, the only smart thing I ever did was every job I've ever had, I've asked, and I've said this before, sorry if I'm repeating myself, I've said to the HR people, when I'm signing, there's that, what is it, it's not a W-2, is it a W-2? A W-2, that form that you fill out when you get a job in the United States, and you say, okay, I want to contribute how much to my, if you've got a 401 or an IRA, how much do you want to contribute? And I max that out everywhere I ever worked. I said, max that out. I don't want to see that money until I'm 60, 59 and a half technically. And then the other thing I did was I kept all the paperwork. I kept it in my file. I had like a retirement folder and had all the paperwork of all the jobs I've ever had. And what happened was, before I got my first paycheck from every employer, that money was already taken out, and I lived accordingly. It was like I adjusted my lifestyle, maxed out all my retirement. And then that money, just compound interest, just grew and grew and grew in all those jobs I've had over all these decades, until it wasn't until last year I finally opened up that folder and I said, it's been 40 years. Let's see what's going on with all this money I've been saving aside. Good God. Compound interest. So, I mean, I was told that when I was young, and I disregarded. I was told to save money. I didn't, but I did that. That one thing saved us. That and the fact that Social Security seems to be a scheme that really works. So anyway, back to the point. I've got this grave anxiety now, and it really is kind of grave anxiety. The memento mori guy, right? The guy that's always saying be ready for to die. I'm like, man, we're on the verge of something really fun and good. What if I get sick and die? I haven't figured this one out yet. I haven't been able to reconcile this, although it has had an impact on me. I've already caught myself. I'm cutting down on the snacks. I want to get trim. I want to get nice clothes. I want to prepare my mind. I want to have fun. I want to enjoy the retired years, and I'm not going to go back to work. Nope. The first couple of years will be tough. A little, not tough, but a little bit tough. What we'll need to do is, we'll have my pension will be coming in. I'll be drawing from the retirement savings to supplement that a little bit for the first year and a half. It'll be a year and a half before Social Security kicks in, and then we don't need to touch that stuff. And while we can use that for extra things, we can use that to buy the car in Japan and the house in Japan and stuff like that. And then we're just off to the races. Stay healthy, stay lean, dress well, etc. So that's what yesterday was about. And I couldn't sleep last night thinking about all that. I didn't sleep well, in a good way. It's like a kid thinking about Christmas. So enough about all that. This is Good Life Creed. I'm just going to recite it this morning. The 8 objectives are to be always ready to die. to make good and effective use of time, to develop, and maintain good and sound life principles, to cultivate good emotional reactions, to perform good actions, to recognize true limits and true opportunities, to do just one thing at a time and do that thing slowly and deliberately and carefully, and to keep my balance. 35 principles are: war, reason, homunculus, anchor hold, home of good and evil, purpose, atomic principle, nature, pirate ride, maturity, social principle, family, public speaking, temperance, life will not go well, the horror show, that which must be born, the feast of woeful, distraction, agency, and the great indifference, the restless man, the path of wildness, the great life adventure, the risk of avoiding risk, sin and damnation, complete oblivion. I missed one, didn't I? I'll come back. If I miss one, it's the best seat in the house. Complete oblivion follows. That is the season of philosophy, script writing, the bullseye aim, the uphill climb, arena and utility, nothing is enough, the principle of fun, being prepared, and season, the best seat in the house. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Got them. Last thing. Am I ready for death? Are my affairs in order? Yeah. Are my relationships sound? Yes. Is my life's work complete? Yeah. My daughter's grown. My book is written. I can now die without a single backwards glance. But I don't want it now because I want to enjoy the next decade plus, hopefully. I want both Yumiko and I to stay healthy. I hope this video didn't sound like bragging. That's not my intent. This is my journal. This is where I record what's going on and keep the record. And also, if it's of benefit or help to anybody, to hear the news that there is good news at the end of your career. All you have to do is there's the bare minimums of preparation. Check those check boxes, max out the contributions, make sure your money's going into your pension scheme, and you should be all right. And then work like a son of a gun for 40 years. It should be all right. I wish you all the best. Be safe, but not too safe. Take care.